Today, we're going to be going over 3 basic rules of algebra that you need to know to expand your knowledge on this topic. But before we start on these 3 major rules, we have to know what is algebra. Well, algebra is taking the factor of the unknown and representing it with letters such as the following: A, B, C, D. It doesn't have to necessarily be these 4 letters. It could be any letter that is in the alphabet. Okay. Rule number 1. We don't use the multiplication sign. So if we were to write 5 times A, we would not write it like that. We would write it with 5A. Because using the multiplication sign is confusing because the letter X is very similar. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between these two, either if it's the multiplication sign or the letter. So to make it easier for ourselves, we don't add the multiplication sign. Pretty basic. Well, rule number 2. Using integers, basically negative and positive, you usually write a positive 5 like this and a negative 5 like this. But always remember that there's always an imaginary plus sign. It doesn't necessarily have to be there to make it true. Rule number 3. One of the most important rules that will help you solve equations and expressions, just equations, is that when moving something to the opposite side of the equal sign, it would always have to be in the inverse operation. Okay, that might sound confusing, but this is how it works. Inverse operation. The inverse of subtraction would be addition. The inverse of division would be multiplication. So let's use that in an example. 5 plus C equals to 10. Now, remember rule number 2. There's always a positive sign before 5 because it's a positive number. And so is C because there's a addition sign. Okay, but both of these numbers are positive. So if we want to put the variable on one side, so our answer is C equals to, so we know what does C represent, because that's the whole aim of an equation most of the time. So we have to move 5 to the other side of the equation, and because 5 is positive, when you move it to the other side, it becomes negative. So it'd be 10 minus 5, which we could easily do, which equals to 5. So now we know that C equals to 5. I hope that explains the 3 major rules of algebra. Now I'm going to give you a few examples of equations which you can solve yourself. Because I gave you an example, I'm going to write 3 questions on the screen. You pause the video and answer them, and then after 5 seconds, I will be writing down the answers. So question number 1 would be 6 plus A equals to 18. You have to find out what does A equal to. So A equals to what? Question number 2. 6B equals to 18. What does B equal to? Question number 3. 10 divided by A equals to 2. What is A? Now, I'll give you 5 seconds. So pause the video to answer these, and then I'll give you the answer. Okay, I hope you've answered these questions. And now the answer of this one would be 12 because 6 plus 12 is 18. The answer of this, I hope you didn't forget that there's a multiplication sign between 6 and b. So the answer of this would be 3 because 6 times 3 is 18. And the answer for the last question would be 10 divided by 5 equals 2 because 10 divided by 5 is 2. So thank you for watching this video. The next video will be about more simplifying of equations and expressions. So thank you for watching.